Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach, and today I am driving a 1986 Chevy Cavalier. Up front is a 2.0 liter inline 4, and down below is a 3-speed automatic transmission. Now I am super excited to be driving this here Chevy Cavalier for a couple of reasons. First of all, my last video was a 94 Cavalier, the last year of the second gen. And so this is the second to last year of the first gen. And so with this video, I have now driven all generations of the American market Chevy Cavaliers, which is super exciting. But before I get on to anything else, I have a website, zackpradel.com, where you can buy stickers like this retro sticker pack or big friggin' bottle sticker, both with free shipping. You could also submit your own vehicle to be reviewed by me through a quick and easy submission form, no matter where you are. And you could read my behind the scenes blog to see what I'm filming before it comes out on the channel. But let's get back to that 2 liter under the hood. Well, it makes about 105 horsepower, maybe. It's an all-iron engine, meaning it has iron pistons, iron block, and iron heads. Unlike the next generation, which got the aluminum heads and aluminum pistons, this is all iron, baby. All right. All right. Speed limit. We're doing 45, ladies and gentlemen. It's not a particularly quick car, but that's okay. GM later took this engine, punched it out, and made it the 2.2 liter that we got in the second generation, and then added dual overhead cams for the third generation. So this is through and through a Cavalier engine. Like I said, paired to an automatic transmission from the 80s, it's not as lazy as I would have thought. It's not a particularly spry transmission, to say the least. Last but not least, of course, the Cavalier is front-wheel drive. Now, I do want to talk about handling for a brief second. This car is very floaty, as where the Cadillac Cimarron, this car's sister car and upscale version, was actually more stiff. The reason for that is that these Cavaliers never got factory rear sway bars, where the Cimarrons did. So actually, if you want the better handling, less floaty one, you get the Cadillac. If you want the floaty one, you get the Chevy. Very backwards to what most people would think between Chevy and Cadillac. Kind of interesting. So with that out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have 4 gauges. On the left is my speedometer. In the center, I get my coolant temperature and fuel. And on the right, I have some warning lights, my oil pressure, and my battery voltage. The steering wheel is very simple. No airbag. I like how thin it is. It feels really nice in my hand and definitely looks very 80s. This shot right here looks very much Fiero to me, of which I've done a Fiero of the same year. Off to the left, I have my light switches, defroster, as well as a climate control vent. Normally, this vent would be black, but it's been swapped out with a Cimarron color vent. And I do have a hood latch, which has also been swapped out for a metal hood latch from a convertible Cavalier. For some reason, the convertible Cavaliers got metal hood latches, while the rest got plastic. So that's actually from a convertible model. On the door up top, I have my locks, which are power, and then I have my window switches. Same complaint I have here in the Cavalier as I had in the Cimarron, which is the fact that they are unlabeled, and for me, who's not used to driving these, I always forget which window switch goes to which window. Moving in the center, I do have another climate control vent and a radio. This is actually out of a Cadillac Cimarron, this radio. So it has some upgraded features to it, and this is not the stock Cavalier radio that would have come in this car. However, it was an option from GM to get a Cimarron radio in a Cavalier. Then I do have my climate controls, and unfortunately, as you might see and hear, the air conditioning is not working today. It is 91 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 33 degrees Celsius for you foreign viewers. So I'm sweltering in here. However, it would normally have AC. This one is just currently broken. Then moving on to the center console, I have some cassette holders because the cassette player in this car still does work, which is fantastic. And the shifter itself, the shifter is right within hand's reach. I really like the placement of it. I like the feel of it. And overall, it actually feels higher quality than what I would think. Then I get a handbrake, and that's it for the center console. And as expected, the 86 Cavalier does not have any cup holders, so it fails the big friggin' bottle test. The seats are nice and comfortable. These were optional seats for the Cavalier. However, they came standard in the Z24 Cavalier. These were optional back in the day, and they are fantastically comfortable. I say it in all my older GM reviews. GM really knew how to make comfortable seats in the 80s and 90s, and this is just exhibit XYZ of that being true. However, speaking of seats, we do have back seats, so let's go do a back seat review. All right, so we're in the back of the 1986 Chevy Cavalier, and a couple of things to note. First of all, knee room is actually good. Headroom is actually good. I'm pretty comfortable back here, which is really, really nice to see. And not to mention, the seats are fantastically comfortable as well. Very plush, very soft. You sort of sink right into them. And I love the visibility that I get back here. That's really, really nice. And this is just an honest, basic back seat. I don't even get headrests. Whiplash, I guess, wasn't really cared about at the time or known about, but overall, I really, really enjoy these back seats of these older J bodies. Let's take a quick look at the trunk, and then we'll talk about the looks. All right, so we're on the back of the 86 Cavalier. I do get two different keys. This is still the era where GM was doing two keys, one for the trunk and body, and one for the ignition. So the circle one is for the trunk. And as you could tell, it is an American trunk. You could fit so much stuff back here, which is just fantastic. Tons and tons and tons of room, even in an economy car. That's always been so shocking to me. Even in an economy car, you got tons of trunk space back in the 80s. Love that. Now we got to talk about the looks, and this one is particularly interesting because it has that two-tone. This is a Chevy Cavalier CL, which I'm not 100% sure what CL means. The owner says it might be classic, it might mean custom. There were so many different labels thrown at these cars that no one kept a record of all of it. But this was custom ordered by the original owner, and so the two-tone was part of that package, as well as the luggage rack on the back and other things of that nature. I really enjoy the look of the Cavalier. I like the old boxy style. This is very America in the 80s to me. I'm sure a couple of people have gotten DWIs in these things, and driving in the back roads of Wisconsin, this car just feels right. But now let's get to my final thoughts on the 1986 Chevy Cavalier, more importantly, the first generation Cavalier. Well, I think this thing is an honest little economy car. Some interesting history is that this car was actually built at the Janesville plant here in Wisconsin, of which was unfortunately demolished in the 2010s after GM stopped using it when they went bankrupt in 2008. And so now that plant is just a memory. This is what it looks like today here in 2022. It's an empty, vacant lot. But I think it's a good metaphor for the first gen Cavalier. You don't see these anymore. When was the last time you actually saw a running, driving first gen Cavalier out on the road? I couldn't tell you. They're all but gone. They used to even be in junkyards, but now seeing them at your local pick and pull is a rarity on its own, let alone fully operational and street driven. And so much like the Janesville plant, this car really now only exists in people's memories. The owner, Aaron, this is his holy grail car because he grew up in one of these. His parents had multiple Chevy Cavaliers. This is something special to him. And I assume if you're watching this video, it's special to you too. I would love to hear your thoughts and memories with the first gen Cavalier. They made so many of these, and with the J-body platform, they also made a Pontiac version. They had the Cadillac Cimarron version. I'm sure you have some type of memory of these cars, and I'd love to hear it from you. Unfortunately, we don't see them all that much too often, but they're still the fun, lovable little econoboxes in our minds and in our hearts. Huge thank you to Aaron for letting me take out his 86 Cavalier. I know this car means a lot to him, so I deeply, deeply appreciate him letting me take it out. Aaron's awesome. He makes his own YouTube videos about J-bodies. I just got out of his 94 Cavalier, as well as he has an 87 Cimarron, which I reviewed. I'd highly recommend checking out that video. He is so awesome. If you're into older J-bodies, please check out his YouTube channel in the description below. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.